Welcome back to another edition of the You Should Get a License podcast edition. I said it in reverse. It's another edition. It's the You Should Get a License podcast edition. This is Rod Powell, and really looking forward to the conversation that I'm going to have today. The gentleman who we're speaking with is someone who I actually discovered, via his social media. And when you go on his page and his outlet, you can not only tell his passion for the business, but you can also tell the level of service that he provides with the testimonials that he shares. He's bringing knowledge and information about financial literacy, about generational wealth, and life insurance, which is very, very important, for everyone, but particularly, for African Americans. And, we talk about this, continuously trying to make sure that, we also have a presence in the industry. It's an important topic, and we want everyone, but we know how underrepresented we are. But I'm excited because he's someone who has had enough time in the industry to be successful and experience what it is. But I know he's still in the early stages of what his career is actually going to become. So I want to welcome, to the You Should Get a License podcast, Mr. Jamil Warren. Jamil, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, man. Look, first, I'm glad you were able to join us. I know that when you're in this business, your schedule can get very packed. You can get busy as well. This platform is really to educate people about insurance. There's so many different types that are out there. You have the life and health side, you got the PNC side. So before we even get into any of your background, if you could just share, your area of specialty and what area of insurance you focus on, and give us, some insight into that. So what do you do on a day-to-day?
Yeah, so I'm actually licensed in life and health, but I don't offer health. I don't offer health insurance at all. So I stick to the life side. So that's basically what I do and what I focus on. In the beginning, I thought that I was going to do the life and health, but I found that I actually like the life better as well as helping families and things of that nature. So pretty much every day, that's what I do. Strictly life insurance.
Life insurance. And you've been in the industry 3 years now?
3 years now. Yep.
I was told when I first joined the business, and I was meeting with some companies that said, look, if you last 3 years in the business, then you're in it for life. This is it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because typically they say people don't make it 90 days or something like that?
Yeah, 90 days, certainly past the first year, in many cases. So, 3 years, you are a wily veteran, at this point. And, you're still a young guy,
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of room to keep growing. And, let's talk about that. So with life insurance, there's different types of life insurance, that are out there. There's the term, there's the whole, there's the ULs, and if you aren't in insurance, some of the things that I'm saying may not even be familiar, but I'm going to turn it over to Jamil to kind of explain, some of those different life insurances that are available to folks out there that you should learn about.
Yeah. So of course we can start with the permanent life insurance. That would be your whole life policy or your universal policies, depending upon which universal you go with. So let's just say if you do the whole life, that's a traditional permanent life insurance plan that you can put in place. And of course, it's set to last your whole life. And you have some universal policies. One of them that's kind of underrated, which is called like a signature guaranteed universal policy. That's a permanent plan too, that builds a little bit of a cash value, but not where you should be borrowing from it. You can get tricky there. You can mess around and, your policy can lapse, but it is a permanent policy as well. That's a signature universal life insurance policy. And you have an index universal life insurance plan. Those are typically the ones that people put in place to build wealth long-term. It has the cash account that's attached to it. So as you're making your monthly premium, some of the money is paying for your insurance. Some of it is being saved for you. And it's attached into the S&P 500. So it depends upon how the S&P scores for that year. It lets you know pretty much what interest rate would be added on top of the money that was saved in that account for you. So of course, those are your permanent plans. You have the term policies. There are all kinds of term policies too. You have an annual renewable term. Those start off very, very, very cheap, but they increase every year. So you might want to be cautious of taking out something like that. You have your 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Typically, if you're under 51, you can get a 30-year term plan. And you also can get a term policy with a ROP, which is a return of premium. Those cost more, but a lot of times, depending upon the carrier, if you get that policy in place, when your policy expires, because of course, when we say term, you want to think temporary. It's only going to last for a specific amount of time. So let's say if you do a 30-year term policy with a return of premium, at the end, when that policy expires, if you outlive it, of course, the 30 years, you can get pretty much like 75% of your premiums paid back to you. That's if you go with that particular plan.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Listen, he just gave us an entire lesson, through the different types of life insurance. Man, that's just, amazing. And so it's just so important for people to know, but I think it's really, amazing that you were able to go through that information and keep it very concise, because when people think about insurance, they think about something that's going to be super complicated. They're not going to be able to understand it. And, although there may be some specific term that you have to ask additional questions on, if you're talking to Jamil, he was able to explain it in a way where you are able to know what direction you may want to go based on your own specific situation. And should you decide to join the industry, you'll know how to explain those things as well. That's the whole objective. So, hey, look, man, I want to go back, even before we talk about, how you got into the industry, and your whole journey. I want to go all the way back, like to your childhood, because typically when we enter this business, it's by happenstance, right? Like, some lucky coincidence, put us, in the business. Okay. I want you to take me back 9 years old, 10 years old. What was the dream job for Jamil Warren? What did you want to be when you grew up?
I actually wanted to be in music. I wanted to be in music. I wanted to produce music. I wanted to be on that side of the field. I wanted to be in the entertainment business. Well, I didn't see it as entertainment. It actually was gospel for me. I saw myself being in the gospel music industry when I was younger.
Wow. Nice. Yeah. That's interesting. My background prior to insurance was in the entertainment business, and it was a transition, into insurance. I want to like talk about that a little bit, because there's a lot of similarities actually between, the creativity and the communication skills that you need to develop, when you're in that industry, and the creativity and out of the box thinking and communication skills you have to develop in this industry. I want to hear, from you, what similarities, did you see, and what things did you see in your time in entertainment that helped you transition successfully into insurance?
Yeah, well, like I said, whenever I had the dream of being in entertainment and being in the music industry, I was young. About the time I started to become older, I started realizing, like, I don't know if there's something that I would like to do, especially because, again, I wasn't looking at the overall entertainment spectrum. I was looking at the gospel side of things.
Gotcha.
So as I began to get older, by the time I became like a teenager, I knew that wasn't what I wanted.
That wasn't it. Okay. So you by team. So early on, you're like, okay, we're gonna shift directions completely. Okay.